In the lead up to your next Walt Disney World vacation, there's something you're probably not doing at home before you even go.
And it's a really easy fix. The key has to do with the movies. See, at all of the Disney parks, there are many different attractions and shows that have to do with major movies throughout Disney history. Live action movies, animated movies, and we want to make sure that you have a full appreciation for each and every one of those and their place in the parks.
But which ones to watch specifically? Like Jen said, there are a multitude of live action and animated classics that you can pick through even one night scrolling through Disney Plus. Well, luckily, we, the Disney Pros, have compiled a list of what we believe to be the 10 most important ones for you to watch before you go to Disney World. And tonight we're going to show you these, going from what we believe to be the least impactful all the way to the end, where we actually think one changes the way you're going to see an entire park at WDW. So without further ado, let's get into it and spend a night at the movies with the Disney Pros.
Now, this list of 10 does not necessarily mean that we don't enjoy these movies. Quite actually the opposite. We love all of these ones. They just may have more of a presence in the park than some of the others, and the ones that we end on are going to be the ones that have the strongest presence in the park. And that brings us to our first movie. That is going to be Aladdin.
It's kind of surprising that one of the more successful and beloved movies of the Disney Renaissance in the early 90s and such does not have as much of a presence in Walt Disney World, at least, that you think it would. Now, you can find this with its own ride, the Magic Carpets of Aladdin in Adventureland at Magic Kingdom. You can also see Jasmine and Aladdin, usually in Morocco at Epcot, even sometimes in Adventureland at Magic Kingdom. And occasionally, especially around Halloween time at Mickey's Not So Scary, you can find Abu and Genie and Jafar. So character meet and greets is really where this one shines out. But hopefully one day we can get a magic carpet ride like they have at Tokyo Disneyland. It's a little bit more intense and thematically pleasing than what the magic carpets is, that sometimes are in need of a little WD-40. But also maybe one day we get a real e-ticket ride of flying that carpet through Agrabah. Next on our list, we're going to continue to focus on ones that you actually might find in Epcot in World Showcase, this time being one of the more recent additions there, Ratatouille.
Like Zach said, can be found in Epcot in Paris. This one is going to be one of those newer attractions. If you watched our last video, it actually took up one of the expansion pads in Epcot towards the back of France.
And we'll link that down below in case you did not watch that one. You can go back and check that out.
You also used to be able to see him if you ever ate at Le Chefs de France. They had a little chef, a little Remy that came out and would, at random times, would be able to just drive around and you could see him. It was really, really cute. They don't do him anymore, haven't done him in a little while, but he was present there as well. Now, my other very key favorite piece is during Food and Wine Festival, Remy is the little mascot.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites. So when you get to do the scavenger hunt pieces and everything, you're going around looking for Remy's cheese, his fromage, scavenger hunt. It's really cute. It's something fun for the whole family. And so that's another really important piece for understanding Ratatouille. Alright, so our next one is going to be one of the most recognizable ones at Walt Disney World, and you might actually be questioning too why we didn't put it first. Hopefully by the end of the video you'll understand. This one is going to be Cinderella.
Obviously Cinderella's castle, one of the most recognizable landmarks, not just for Disney fans, but in the entire world. It's a feat of architecture. Besides the castle, you also have the restaurant in it, Cinderella's Royal Table, where you can meet Cinderella and a few other princesses as you dine on the backside of the icon in Magic Kingdom. Now, why this one is here is because you really don't find Cinderella many places besides that. You can find her usually in Epcot and Princess Fairy Tale Hall for meet and greets, but we actually missed out on getting an attraction for her. So if you've done the Beauty and the Beast kind of walk through play rendition attraction in Magic Kingdom, we were supposed to be getting a Cinderella version of that one too before it got canceled and replaced with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Cinderella, even though her castle is the icon of the park, she does fall somewhere in the middle of our list just because there's not many places else that you're gonna find her.
You might even say, because we have the carousel, a lot of people mistake it for Cinderella's carousel, but it's not. It's Prince Charming's Regal Carousel, which still connects. If you don't have Cinderella, you don't have Prince Charming, but it's not Cinderella's, so we do miss out on that.
All right, next on our list is a deep cut Disney movie that frankly many people probably have not seen, but you probably recognize it for one iconic character, Sorcerer Mickey. That's right, we're talking about Fantasia.
Fantasia is going to show up in a number of different places around the parks. You can find Sorcerer Mickey at Hollywood Studios, where you can actually meet him. You can find, again, in Hollywood Studios, Fantasmic is heavily influenced by the ideas from Fantasia, even including Sorcerer Mickey in the show. And then you've also got in PhilharMagic, the little bit where Donald finds the sorcerer's hat and it takes him on all kinds of wild adventures. So Mickey as Sorcerer Mickey, the iconic sorcerer's hat, all of the crazy different things that happen throughout Fantasia, including all of the different little parts with like Pegasus and the dancing hippos. Those are all in the Fantasia Gardens putt-putt course over near Disney Springs. It's going to be one of those other big key pieces that, again, you may recognize the characters, but you may not know exactly where it came from.
For any of you that remember Spectral Magic, which happens to be my favorite nighttime parade at Disney World, you probably remember the Chernabog float that used to be at the end of the villains section and spread his wings. It was probably the biggest sight to behold in that parade. That always holds a special place in my heart, just because I love that parade so much. And it all ties back to Fantasia.
So our next pick is going to come again as another classic from that Disney Renaissance period, Beauty and the Beast.
Now, Beauty and the Beast is where we start to hit that midway point in our list, and only our second princess movie. We've got a couple more coming up, so stick around if you're into the princess movies and you want to see where you can find those in Disney World. But Beauty and the Beast becomes a real heavy hitter because there are multiple attractions devoted to this movie and even a restaurant as well too. We've already talked a little bit about Enchanted Tales with Belle when we talked about Cinderella before, because Cinderella is supposed to get an attraction like this. But Enchanted Tales with Belle, you basically play a part in the story of Beauty and the Beast, taking on different roles. Myself, I'm usually a knight because I've got the really good marching legs, I guess, and even our little ones have been Chip and Philippe and a couple other characters that have been in that presentation. You've also got over in Epcot, the Beauty and the Beast sing-along, which it takes it from a different standpoint from what you see in the movie, and it plays rotationally with Impressions de France.
So it's even a little bit of a twist. You get it from the perspective, a different perspective of another character from within the movie, which is just something to keep in mind. It's actually really, really cute and very enjoyable for the whole family. So definitely something worth trying on your trip, but something to be aware of. It's not just going in and watching the movie and doing a sing-along. It is a little bit different in that.
As far as the last attraction regarding Beauty and the Beast, it's one of the longest running in Hollywood studios, that being Beauty and the Beast live on stage, where it is a more of a Broadway style rendition of Beauty and the Beast. We have live singing, puppetry, everything like that. It is a classic. It's not something we necessarily do every time because
but it's very well done and it's very well worth it.
Yeah, our kids usually want to focus more on the rides, which is understandable for them.
We did it a lot more when they were younger and couldn't do all of the attractions in Hollywood Studios since they have so many taller height requirements. But it's still something that as we're able to, especially in the cooler seasons, because it is an outdoor open air theater, we do try and do that more, fall, spring season.
And then of course you can meet Belle, usually in Epcot. You can see her at Enchanted Tales with Belle at the end of it. They do a photo op for you there. But one of the biggest attractions that this will have going for it isn't even an attraction itself. It's the restaurant, Be Our Guest in Magic Kingdom. We actually have not been there since it went into a prefix menu. We actually went way back in the days when it was a quick service lunch.
Very early on.
Yeah, in case you didn't know that, it used to have a quick service lunch where it was sandwiches and things like that. I remember going there on one of our trips and sitting in the main ballroom area.
It's really, really cool to get to experience that and watch the snow outside. Snow.
And in case you're curious, yes, the gray stuff, it is delicious. All right, like I said, we've got a couple more princess movies coming up, and we're going to go on to another one now. The one that started the Disney Renaissance all the way back in 1989, The Little Mermaid.
Now, The Little Mermaid can be found in a couple of different places. Also, again, in a couple of different parks, because it is such an iconic classic for that Renaissance period. You can find The Little Mermaid in Hollywood Studios with the show that has just come back. It's not a new show, but they were under refurbishment for a little while. So you'd be able to see her in this cute little show as well that's been redone. You can meet Ariel, obviously, in Magic Kingdom. She's got her grotto, and you can go meet her based on the animated version. But in Hollywood Studios, you can also go meet live action Ariel in One Man's Dream. Our girls love Ariel, both versions of the movie, both versions of the character. And so it was really cool when they brought the live action Ariel out to be able to get to go see her. And you also have her ride. So her ride is obviously going to be one of the big draws in Magic Kingdom, Journey Under the Sea, Little Mermaid. This one is an iconic classic dark ride attraction. Really, really cute, really well done, something enjoyable for the whole family. And that will be our Little Mermaid.
And actually, fun fact regarding the ride, if you have a DVD copy of The Little Mermaid, some of those that were released right before the ride actually came out have a bonus feature where you kind of have like a mock-up ride through of Journey Under the Sea. So you might have that on your DVD copy if you have that at home. So something cool for you guys to check out.
All right, so this is going to bring us to our next princess movie. We do have a few others that are coming up that are not princess, so don't worry if you're not into the princesses, still stick around, there's others coming. But this one, we're going to travel way back. This is going to take us to a truly iconic original classic, the one that started it all, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
That's right, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which next year in 2027 will be 90 years old. So almost a century since we first saw this on the big screen. Maybe not us necessarily. We're not that old. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, one of the biggest thrilling attractions for families in Magic Kingdom. Opened almost about 10 to 15 years ago now. It's been a big addition to Fantasyland after we'd already talked about the plans for Cinderella and Pixie Hollow for Tinkerbell were originally scrapped. You can also find Snow White and meet her in multiple places. You can find her in Epcot in the Germany Pavilion. Sometimes you'll find her in Princess Fairy Tale Hall if she's a rotating princess. You can find her on Main Street as well too occasionally. And we actually happened to run into her. She was visiting for the day at 1900 Park Fair at the Grand Floridian, filling in for Aladdin as he had other arrangements already going on that day, which floored our oldest because Snow White happens to be her favorite princess. A lot of people don't realize that there's a character dining for her. Over at Artist Point at Wilderness Lodge, you can actually have a storybook dining experience at night with her. A couple of the Seven Dwarfs come out. The Evil Queen is there too. So if you are really into Snow White, maybe take a look at that menu and see if that's going to be a character dining spot that you and your family are going to want to experience. All right, we are about to hit the last 3 movies on our list, which we really believe are probably the most important for you to watch before you go to Disney World. But if you've made it this far with us into the list, where we've gotten through 7 of them already, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos from us, the Disney Pros, and we can continue to grow our Disney Pro community. Now that we've already talked about how important these next 3 are, let's get into it. This next one not only spreads across multiple parks, but but it has a land to itself, opened about 10 years ago now. That, of course, is the one that is coming out with a 5th installment later this year, Toy Story.
A Toy Story is a classic for any 90s kid. This is one that we all grew up on, the one where we still check old toys or our kids' toys to make sure they're not moving overnight. Not gonna lie, I do that from time to time, and it freaks me out if they do move. So Toy Story can be found in tons of different places, like Zach said. You can meet Buzz in Magic Kingdom sometimes. You can meet Buzz and Woody, Jesse and Bo Peep in Hollywood Studios. There's obviously Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin that's currently under refurbishment, soon to be opening later this spring.
My reign as Galactic Hero will continue. I am 7-time Galactic Hero in this household.
2. We'll see. I am the Toy Story Mania winner, so don't let him fool you.
Yes.
Like I mentioned, there's Toy Story Mania in Hollywood Studios, which was one of the original Toy Story pieces to Hollywood Studios before they expanded it, when they added it to an entire new land. That's going to include Alien Swirling Saucers and Slinky Dog Dash, one of the most favorite early roller coasters for a lot of young kiddos. That entire area just completely transports you completely to being a toy, and all the way shrunken down to experience that in an entirely new way. Now, there's also one other piece here. It's not just limited to the parks, but in All-Star Movies, you can find an entire area themed to Toy Story. You've got larger-than-life characters. The different aspects to the rooms are themed to Toy Story, which is a really cool way to stay and just live within the movie.
And Toy Story, frankly, it's one of our more beloved classics. We can probably quote this movie line for line. If our kids are watching it in the back seat on the way down to Disney, we'll start going through it. And really, Toy Story Land, Jen talked about, but Slinky, besides being a great coaster for the kids, Alien Swirling Saucers, if you follow us on Instagram and you go back a little bit, you'll see that we talked about this as one of the best rides for a first date at Disney, because you are smushed up like this going through it. It's a lot of fun for the family, for us as a married couple, for you and your kids to kind of squish them and they say, "Stop, Dad, stop." So Toy Story, a lot of great places there, and brings continuous memories for us as a family.
All right, so this last one you had to know was coming. I'm sure you were wondering when it was going to show up on our list. It is, in fact, on our list, and this is going to bring it to one of the more recently released movies. This is actually the most recently released movie on our top 10 list. It is Frozen.
Like Jen said, you knew this one was coming. I mean, this one is in 3 of the Disney World parks, and it's in a water park too, which we'll talk about in a second. Frozen has its own ride at Epcot, where you get the classic dark ride version, and you go up to Elsa's tower and hear her sing Let It Go, and go through the old ride that used to be Maelstrom at Epcot. I'll pause here for anybody that has other hard feelings with that one now gone too. But then over in Magic Kingdom, you'll see Elsa and Anna light the Christmas lights on the castle around the holiday season. Over in Blizzard Beach, like I said, in a water park, the kids area is themed to Frozen, where you have young Anna and Elsa playing with their snowmen and things like that.
You have snow geese as well, so if you like the little snowman characters, they show up there as well. Yeah,
so you'll see them over there. But then you can also see the characters in Epcot and Hollywood Studios, with Olaf being there. But then I think our favorite thing that Frozen has at Walt Disney World is the Frozen sing-along show at Hollywood Studios. Now, yes, it is a sing-along. You will get Let It Go and Love is an Open Door belted at the top of children's and adults' lungs while you're there. But really what makes that show special are the improv actors that host it as the royal historians, because of the classic jokes that they tell, not only from ones that they bring in some Disney humor into it too, but a lot of recent pop culture stuff as well.
This is not just your average sing-along show. It's not one that's just playing up on the screen and you're following along. This is one where live entertainment truly is important. It is key. It's what makes or breaks this entire show. And we haven't had a single bad show with it yet. There are some shows where I am personally laughing so hard to the point of being in tears. And we were very hesitant in the early years to go see the show at all, just because we thought it was just going to be another one of those, oh great, we get to go sing along to all the music. But no, this one truly is so enjoyable for the kids, for the adults. It brings in a good mixture of that kid humor and adult humor, not anything gross, weird, or dirty, just something more enjoyable, like Zach said, pop culture, like Toy Story used to do, and some of those other big movies from the 90s, just to kind of make it fun for the whole family.
If you haven't seen it before, I highly recommend you go the next time you go to Hollywood Studios. And if you happen to be there at the holidays, we've already talked about how they light the castle. They do a special Olaf's holiday story version of the show around the holiday season, where you get special songs you won't get the rest of the year. So put that on your to-do list if you're going around the holiday season as well. You knew it was coming. Frozen, it's a big one at Walt Disney World. We've made it to the end of our list. What we believe to be the most important Disney movie that you need to watch before you go to Disney World. In fact, it's so important to us, we believe, because it has completely changed how you experience one of Disney World's theme parks. That being Animal Kingdom. And if you know where we're going with this, of course, it's one of the more beloved movies, especially for us millennials, The Lion King.
Now, I'm gonna be a little bit biased. Lion King is one of my all-time favorite movies, still to this day. So it holds a special place in my heart personally, but it truly has so much presence in the parks. Back in the 90s when it first came out, all the way to present day, and for that to have that much of a hold after so long. I think back in Art of Animation, there is an entire section of this resort that's entirely dedicated to the Lion King. You can stay in the Lion King suites, where you can be immersed in this larger than life area where you can see Simba and Timon and Pumbaa as they go through the Hakuna Matata scene. There's all kinds of different characters that you can see at the resort in that section for the Lion King suites. There used to be other parts in the parks in the 90s that were very Lion King themed. Before PhilharMagic took that show location in Magic Kingdom, there was actually a Lion King show. I remember this vividly because it was my favorite show at the time.
And I don't remember it at the time. It was like Legend of the Lion King or something like that. Yeah, I unfortunately don't remember it, but Jen's the Lion King nerd in the family, so she'll of course remember that one.
It was a very, very important one, and I was very bummed when they replaced it with PhilharMagic, although I love PhilharMagic. But then there's this entire park that has been completely transformed by the Lion King. Lion King came out shortly before Animal Kingdom opened, and I think that played a really key role in helping Animal Kingdom to be successful in a park as it was. With Animal Kingdom, there's a lot of different pieces. You can meet Rafiki and Timon at the park. In Africa, you can find, or you could find, Rafiki's Planet Watch, also used to be known as Conservation Station. So you could go out to Rafiki's Planet Watch and learn about all the different ways that you could help preserve the environment and make sure that you were saving all the different animals out in the safari, and ways that you could help protect the environment in your local area as well on a smaller scale. Then there's even my absolute favorite piece, Festival of the Lion King. I think this is what speaks volume to how successful this movie was and how much of an impact it made on people, and therefore in the parks so many years later. The show itself was in Mickey and Minnie's camp area where Avatar is, where the world of Pandora is now. It was supposed to be temporary. It was an open air theater. It was a celebration. And then it was so well loved, it stayed, and it stayed, and it stayed. And then when they decided to transform that area into the world of Avatar, they decided to move it because no one wanted it to go away. And they created the Harambe Theater for a fully enclosed, permanent location for Festival of the Lion King, where you get to see all of your favorite characters and be fully immersed in some of the most iconic songs throughout the movie.
And I'll jump in here real quick. Thank goodness it's enclosed, because if you ever experienced that open air theater back in the 90s and early 2000s, you know it got incredibly hot. I can only imagine how hot it was for the performers. So thank goodness it's enclosed now. And now back to Jen.
So another place that you can find this, there's 2 other shows that you can find Lion King as well. There's a good bit of The Lion King in Fantasmic over in Hollywood Studios, one of our favorite nighttime spectaculars. And then, again, one of my favorite fireworks shows of all time, Happily Ever After in Magic Kingdom, has a really iconic piece talking about remembering who you are.
Yeah, hearing Mufasa's voice
emotional
at the end of that, where then it starts to interlude my personal favorite Disney song, Go the Distance from Hercules. Ooh, mwah, chef's kiss, match made in heaven, using that there. I mean, you can obviously just see from Jen's reaction how important The Lion King is, not only to us Disney fans, and I'm sure many of you at home watching this, but how important a part it plays in Animal Kingdom. Like Jen said, it was meant to be temporary, but the Festival of the Lion King show has consistently held the highest satisfaction rating of any attraction at Disney World. It continues to live on. Who knows what may come in the future from this classic. Paris is getting the world's first Lion King ride. It's going to be a log flume style attraction. Maybe once Animal Kingdom is done with its transition with Encanto and Indiana Jones coming around, there might just be a little bit more room in Africa. Maybe one day we'll get a full ride through of The Lion King. Well, there you have it. What we believe to be the 10 most important Disney movies you need to watch before you go to Walt Disney World.
Now, these 10, we talked about a lot of different ways that you could experience these movies in the parks, but there may be plenty of others. We tried to focus on just the key, really big, important ways that you might notice them in the parks, but again, they might be found within a show. They might be found in a little tagline somewhere. You can really experience these in a lot of different ways, various ways, all across the Walt Disney World Resort.
But we talked about these 10. Maybe there's something we missed that in your opinion should have been on our list. Do us a favor and drop that in the comments and let us know, and maybe we'll feature it in a future video that we do. And speaking of future videos that we do, if we get to 15 likes on this one, we'll come out with one where we talk about the Disney movies that don't have enough representation at Walt Disney World. There's quite a few on that list. Spoiler, Rapunzel is on it.
Yeah, there's a few others. That'll do it for us. I'm Jen and this is Zach. We are the Disney Pros. We hope you enjoy and we hope to see you back again here soon. See you next time.
Bye.